Michaelnagar Shikha Niketan Higher Secondary Government Sponsored Co-ed English Medium School has taken an excellent initiative of teaching and make our students learn day-to-day lessons through audio and video in our YouTube channel. Teachers of all the subjects are working hard to enhance these online classes in the midst of this pandemic situation. It is a request to all the teachers, students and guardians to click the bell icon and subscribe our channel.
We will discuss the megasporogenesis next. So as it is written on the board, is a process of formation of megaspore from the megaspore mother cell, and also known as MMC, is known as megasporogenesis. The definition is equally same to the microsporogenesis, where the microspores are formed from the pore in mother cells. Here the megaspores, that is the megaspore, that is the egg, that is the ovule that is formed from the megaspore mother cell. So let's start. So what happens? This is the ovary. This is the ovule, sorry. So on the ovule, these are the coverings. As you can see, the integuments we know, nucellus we know, and the embryo sac, and this is the funicle. So what happens in the embryo sac? It will draw it like this. So this is the opening part, which is the micropylar end. So inside the embryo sac lies inside the embryo sac lies the megaspore mother cell. This is the megaspore mother cell, MMC, or we will also call it female gamete or megaspore mother cell. So which is, obviously this is diploid. This is diploid, that is, it's having two ends. So this part is the micropylar end. So what will happen here? It will undergo meiosis. It will do what? It will undergo meiosis, and it will form four megaspore. They are present in a straight line, that will be also known as linear tetrad. So they are the four microspores. What are these? These are the four megaspore. These are the four megaspore. And as we have told earlier from the beginning, I am saying this is the micropylar end, this is the chalazal end. What will happen? See, these three megaspore that is near to the micropylar end will degenerate. It will degenerate. So the spores, the megaspore near the micropylar end will degenerate, and the megaspore near the chalazal end will remain. So this is the only spore. This is the only spore that remains, and the rest three, they degenerate. So it will look like this. There is the only one megaspore present, that too at the chalazal end. Now what will happen? So this is your ovule. So as you can see, we have just now seen that there is only one megaspore, that too at the chalazal end. What will happen now? This megaspore will undergo mitosis. It will undergo mitosis, and in this process there are quite a number of mitosis occurs. So this will be mitosis number 1. So this is mitosis number 1. what will happen? By the way, this megaspore is haploid, as you know. Still I am writing. Okay, this mitosis will undergo, this megaspore will undergo mitosis and will form what? It will form two megaspore. It will form two nuclei. This megaspore nuclei will form two nuclei, one here and this. These two are formed from mitosis 1. So, what will happen? This nuclei will come here. It will come towards the micropylar end. So, we will draw it here. Okay. So, what will happen now? This again will undergo mitosis. So, this will be mitosis number what? It will be mitosis number 2. So, in mitosis number 2, what is formed? So, this 2 will again form again 2, this will divide in and form 2 more nuclei, and this will divide and form 2 more nuclei. So, it will look like this, isn't it? So, after this it will perform the third and the last mitosis. So, that is the mitosis number 3. So, how many total number of mitoses are performed in this megasporogenesis? 3. So, 3 mitoses will happen in this megasporogenesis, and it will form, these 4 will again form what? It will form 2 more, and here this end will form 2 more, and here this end will form 2 more. So, total there will be 8 nuclei. So, it will look like this. So, these two are again forming 2, okay, and these two are forming 2 more. So, it will look like this, okay. So, what happens after this? Oh, by the way, I have forgotten to tell one thing. So, here what happens, from all the nuclei present here, one of the nuclei will come at the middle part, from the topmost part, that is from the chalaza end, and one of the nuclei will come again from here to the middle part, that is from the micropylar end. So, it will look like this. It will look like this. Here are the 3 nuclei present, here are the 3 nuclei present, and 2 are found in the middle. So, let us draw it more neatly and more briefly. So, this is the overview. So, these are the 3 cells, or we can say the 3 nuclei here, and these are the 3 nuclei here, and the 2 nuclei from this end will come at the middle. From here it will come here, and the here again it was formed as you have seen on the earlier diagram. So, it will come from here. Originally it was like this. From the top, from the chalaza part, one nuclei will come at the middle, this part. This one comes at the middle, and this one comes again at the middle. So as you can see, there are total 8 nuclei. There are total 8 nuclei. So we can call it 8 nucleated. We can call it 8 nucleated since there are total 8 nuclei present. But number of cell. So let us see how many number of cells are present here. So this is cell number 1, cell 2, cell 3. 3 cells are here. Then cell 4, cell 5 and cell 6. Here both the nuclei are present in a single cell. They are both the nuclei present in a single cell. But normally, do cells are having 2 nucleus in them? No. Cells do not have 2 nucleus inside it. So if a cell having 2 nucleus, we will not call it a normal cell. So it will not be called a normal cell. So normally we see there are total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can tell it like they are having 7 cells inside this ovule. But normally a cell do not have 2 nucleus present inside. One cell do not have 2 nucleus present inside. So we will tell there are total 6 cells. There are total 6 normal cells. So if the question comes, how many number of cells are present present in the megasporogenesis inside the embryo sac, inside a mature embryo sac, you will say there are total 6 cells. There are total 6 cells present inside a mature embryo sac and there are total 8 nucleus. So 8 nucleated and 6 cells. By the way, all of these things are happened from a single spore. So we will call this embryo sac or this development embryo sac as monosporic. We will call it what? We will call it monosporic. Monosporic means the development of the total embryo sac from one spore. So this is a example of monosporic development. Next we are going to study about fertilization. So before we start this topic, fertilization, let us revise here. Let us revise what we have studied till now. So we have studied the chalaza end, we know we have studied the nucellus, we have studied the integuments. As you can see the coverings, we have studied the raphe, the attachment, the extended part of funicle. We have seen the stalk, that is the funicle, the micropylar end, that is the opening end, that is the opening end. We have seen the hilum, that is the angle, then now this total part. Okay, so this is the embryo sac. So inside the embryo sac, as stated earlier, these three are the three cells that form at the top are known as, let us draw this. So the 3 cells at top, that is on the chazal part, the chazal end, these 3 cells are known as antipodal cell. These are known as antipodal cell. This cell at the micropylar end, the middle part, the large cell is the egg. Or you can say ovule, which will later become the seed. These two parts surrounding the egg are known as synergid. It is known as synergid. These synergids are having comb-like structure. This is a synergid. This synergid is having like this. It is having like this comb-like structure. So this comb-like structure on the synergid, below the synergid, is known as filiform apparatus. It is known as filiform apparatus. So what is the work of filiform apparatus? By the way, guides the pollen tube. So mainly the pollen tube enters through the micropore. It doesn't mean it always enters through the micropore. It may enter through the integuments. It may enter through the Chaza end, but that mainly, but generally we can say it enters through the micropylar end. So this is the pollen tube. So this pollen tube enters through the micropylar end containing the two gametes. So what is the work of synergids and the filiform apparatus? It will guide the pollen tube. It will guide the pollen tube and it will do what? It will, these, as you can see this comb-like structure, it will catch the pollen grains. Okay. So and this middle nuclei from both the ends containing in a same cell is known as, secondary nuclei, or it is known as polar nuclei. So it is known as polar nuclei. By the way, this is diploid. This polar nuclei is diploid, and the rest are all haploid. So as you can see here, these are three antipodal cells that is on the Chazal end. This is the egg or the ovule. These are two synergids. The synergids are having this filiform, this apparatus, just mark it here, filiform apparatus, where that helps in guiding the pollen tube. Then this is the polar nuclei or the secondary nucleus, we can say this, by the way, diploid. So this is the overall structure of a megasporangium. Now we will study fertilization. So let us draw again. So what happens fertilization? So this is the ovule, and here is the embryo sac. Inside the embryo sac, these are all the cells that we have discussed earlier present. Okay. What happens, as in the earlier class we have stated, this is the normal, the female gametophyte of the plant, that is containing the stigma, style and ovary. What happens if the pollen is compatible to the stigma? If the pollen is compatible to the stigma, it will do what? It will, as in earlier classes we will have stated that the pollen will come out from the pollen material, everything will come out from the germ pole. So it will come from, and how will it come? As we have studied in the earlier class, like the vegetative cells and the germinative cells are present in a pollen. So the vegetative cell or the tube cell will form a pollen tube. It will form a pollen tube on where it will form the pollen tube on the inside the style, and inside the pollen tube are the germinative cells, which divides to form two male gametes. So total 2 male gametes come inside along with the pollen tube. So this pollen tube will cut the style, and it will enter and it will take these 2 male gametes, and it will take these 2 male gametes inside the ovary where the ovule is present. This is suppose the ovule. So the pollen tube will, if the pollen tube might enter from the Chazal end, it might enter from the integument part, it might enter through the micropylar end, but generally it enters through the micropylar. Let us draw from micropylar end it is entering. Okay. So after this is, so if we like enlarge this drawing, zoom this drawing, it will look like this. So what happens, here are the filiform apparatus. So what happens, these are the 2 male gametes N and N. This is the egg. So what happens, these 2 male gametes enters Okay, and the filiform will guide it and it will catch the male gametes. What happened after entering this male gamete? The antipodal cell degenerates, the synergid cell degenerates. What remains are the polar nuclei. The polar nuclei remains and the egg or the ovule remains. So what will happen? One of the male gametes will fuse, will unite with the egg, and then another male gamete that has came will unite with the polar nuclei. So what happened if these two have united? If the egg and the male gamete have united, it will form. If the male gamete has united, it will form the zygote. It will form the zygote. So this will be formed as zygote. This will form a zygote. N plus N, that is 2N is diploid. And what will happen here? The polar nuclei will unite with the another male gamete, and already the polar nuclei is diploid, 2N, and the male nuclei, that is the male gamete, that is also having 1N. So what will happen? If both of these unite, what will happen? It will form a trinucleide, means 2N plus N, 3 nucleus. So this will form a 3 nucleus body which is known as endosperm. So this is the basic overall fertilization, and this fertilization is also known as double fertilization. Why? 2 fertilization are occurring simultaneously. One, as you can see, 2 male gametes are entering in the ovule. One male gamete fuses or unites with the egg, forming zygote. The other male gametes unites with the diploid and polar nuclei or the diploid secondary nucleus and form a 3N. It forms 3N, which is the endosperm. What is the work of endosperm? It gives nourishment to the growing embryo. This zygote will later form embryo, and this embryo will later form seed. From the seed, seedlings are formed, that is the baby plants are formed. So what happened? So again these two are united, egg and sperms are united, forming the zygote. This zygote will later form embryo, which will later form seed, and the seeds, from the seedlings will be produced, and this endosperm nourishes the growing embryo. It gives food to the growing embryo. So this is how a seed is formed, and the overall ovary. Suppose this is the ovary, and this ovary will be transformed to fruit. So this is the overall discussion of the female reproductive part of flower. So we have completed a male and a female reproductive part of the flower of your sexual reproduction of flowering plants. So till now, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Leave a like and comment. Subscribe. And do share the video among your friends.